When madokana with Africa Tanganese to the South African of the Year Daily Show Nindipuli Sani Ravere. A different kind of look, but nonetheless the same inspiring conversation. Joining me this evening, a remarkable man who's been involved in the process when madokana with Africa Tanganese to the South African of the Year Daily Show Nindipuli Sani Ravere. A different kind of look, but nonetheless the same inspiring conversation. Joining me this evening, a remarkable man who's been involved in the process of ensuring that we have free and fair democratic elections. He's been involved in the establishment of the Independent Electoral Commission since its inception, and those who know him attest to his unshakable commitment to this country. And of course, his efforts are not going unnoticed, as tonight he sits here as a nominee in SATY2016 as the South African of the Year nominee. Mr. Glen Mashinini, welcome to the show and congratulations on your nomination.
Thank you very much, Alame.
Now, with over when madokana with Africa Tanganese to the South African of the Year Daily Show Nindipuli Sani Ravere. A different kind of look, but nonetheless the same inspiring conversation. Joining me this evening, a remarkable man who's been involved in the process of ensuring that we have free and fair democratic elections. He's been involved in the establishment of the Independent Electoral Commission since its inception, and those who know him attest to his unshakable commitment to this country. And of course, his efforts are not going unnoticed, as tonight he sits here as a nominee in SATY2016 as the South African of the Year nominee. Mr. Glen Mashinini, welcome to the show and congratulations on your nomination.
Thank you very much, Alame.
Now, with over 30 years of experience in elections, and the electoral process, your own company that serves with electoral advisory things, why elections?
It was one of those things that happened by accident, but it coincided with my long-standing commitment to human rights and democracy. So it was a natural progression that when I was called to lend a hand and serve the country at the inception of the Electoral Commission, I then made myself available. And once you've hit that bug, it just stays with you.
And you've been there ever
since. The buzz, the adrenaline, yes.
Let's talk about the adrenaline. At which point is it for you the fire that just keeps you going? Is it at the point when the date is announced, or is it when the actual elections, the people are standing in the line and they're voting, or is it at the results phase?
From the beginning, because you're working towards a particular date. So it's a continuous process that throws in all kind of things. Some you can predict, others you can't, but you still have to steer the ship. So as a team, we've been able that then we take the Electoral Commission to be where it is as a country. Almost now it's 20 years next
October.
Yeah, well.
A phenomenal milestone. Let's reflect on the recent successful municipal elections.
Yes.
There was a time when it was a little touch and go with regards to issues with the voters' roll, but we got through it, and here we are standing with results that everybody believes were free and fair. Take me through the process of preparing for the municipal elections.
But when I joined the commission as a commissioner, I found that a lot of work, the groundwork has already been done. So it was a matter of finding where can one add value to the team, and fortunately it's a solid team. Both the commissioners and the management in the nationally and provincially. So we happened to then pull together as the commission and dealt with all the issues and the challenges that were before us as best as we could. But I must say it was a very, very tough.
It was touch and go there.
To some extent, yes, but so are all the elections. But this one was, relatively speaking, one of the toughest and more complications from litigations and as well as the demarcation issues that came up too late in the time frame. Usually it's about 18 months minimum.
Which gives you time, I suppose,
which gives
to
you time
react and implement solutions.
Plan, yes. This time around it was a much more shorter time frame before us. But the team pulled together. You know, you can only kill such a challenge with more time. People were working beyond the call of duty. And I think this country does know what kind of commitment you have in the electoral staff that is in that institution.
Wow.
And it's a brilliant, what you call, team of people who are dedicated and committed to our country.
Well, to your team, I know that I'm only but one person, but I salute all of you and thank you for all the work that you do. And the success must really also be attributed to the fact that there is good leadership in place, because a team is only as good as the person that they're following in front. So a salute to you too, Mr. Mashinini.
Well, I mean, that would be to the team of the commissioners, the 5 commissioners that gave the leadership. Because, I mean, as the chair, you're only a chair, and the rest is a collective effort.
They make it happen.
Yes, that makes the things happen.
Well, what does a day in the life of Mr. Glen Mashinini look like? We sent our cameras to follow him around and, of course, taking a look at the recent municipal elections, and this is what happened.
I grew up with my grandparents in an old township called Painville. Today, only part of it that's left is called Bakerton in Springs. And then in the 60s, during the first removals, families were then moved to Guatemala in Springs. I then moved and joined my mom and dad, who lived in Soweto, in Fuller North. So my lower primary school, I was in Painville, Scom. I finished my matric in KwaZulu-Natal in Mpangeni, in Dlangezo High School. And that's when I left the country. And then I lived in Australia for almost 15 years. Came back in 1993 to join the then NAPEC, which was Natal Performing Arts Council. And after 5 years, I was headhunted by the commission led by Justice Kirchler and Professor Mandla Mchunu to come and join the IEC. And I was the part of the team that founded the IEC, and I served under Professor Mchunu as the Deputy Chief Electoral Officer. Reading is one of the things I enjoy most, as well as arts and culture, heritage, which is one of the things that probably for most of my life. But also I'm very close to the family, so I'm part of most of the family activities. Every position and role that I've played, each one had its what you call highlight, and that I enjoyed. A perpetual optimist and always an agent for change, but I don't blow my trumpet, so I think it's best if others can describe, but that's more or less what has always characterized my life. I'm honored in that it is an acknowledgement, not of me, but of that the institution that I joined in May last year has actually done a service to the country beyond the call of duty to make sure that our democracy remains a beacon that we can be proud of as a nation.
You're watching the South African of the Year Daily Show. Joining me this evening, nominated in the South African of the Year category, Mr. Glen Mashinini. Taking a look into your day. Now, Mr. Mashinini, you grew up practically everywhere, from the East Rand to Soweto to White River, eventually matriculating in Pangeni, and then you immigrated to Australia to complete your tertiary studies. Tell me about that opportunity and how that happened that you ended up down under, of all places.
It was my dad who actually came up with that. This was actually triggered by the events of 1976 and the subsequent activities going on in the country. And he then called me on the side one day and made me to make an undertaking that I know what's going on and what you are up to, but I would like you to just make one undertaking, that we will all live together. So pass the matric. And I said, what's the plan? He said, leave that with me. And in 1977, and then he came back and said, let's go to
Australia?
no, to go and get the passports.
Yes.
And when we got there, I still had the school, I didn't have a school leaving.
For me, it wasn't complete,
yes.
yes.
So we had to go to Albert Street to deregister as a scholar, and so that I can then start the process of getting the passport. And then when I finished the matric in April, that was the Zimbabwe Independence Day, that's when the family left the country.
And what would you say the transition was like for you? You know, leaving such, it was a volatile time in our country, moving to Australia. Did you at any point feel that I should be in South Africa, I should be contributing to this fight, to the struggle? Or did you believe that I'm where I'm meant to be in Australia?
For me, it was a continuum, because even before one left, I mean, one was already involved as an activist. And at certain stages, my home was also where my uncles used to bring the military equipment and all the AK-47s.
Wow.
I slept with them. I almost opened fire at one day.
AK-47
Yes, yeah. This was 77, 78, and with my dad also moving certain things between the country and the neighboring states. So, but the emphasis that came from the values was that you're going to need education.
Yes.
And so I'm glad I did. The temptation was very high. A lot of my friends left at that time, and some of them, I still want them to pay me for having bought them a packet of Kentucky. And I woke up the following day, they were all gone.
With your Kentucky?
Yes, and they didn't tell me.
It's okay. Okay, don't worry. I'll sort you out after the show.
They pay every day now. You know, every time I'm with them, I say, okay, you guys.
KFC, please, the bucket. Mr. Glen Mashinini, nominee in the South African of the Year category. If you'd like to vote for him to ensure that he walks away with that award on the 25th of November at the Ticket Pro Dome, SMS SATY4, if I'm not mistaken. That is his code to 43043, or you can email SATY4 to satyvoting@nn7.com. And don't forget, of course, by voting, you are standing in a chance, just chance to win 2 double VIP tickets to the SATY Awards, and that is a place that you definitely want to be. But Mr. Glen Mashinini is not sitting alone in this category of South African of the Year. There are fellow nominees, and this is who they are.
When you see the outcomes, it's also very gratifying. Yes, I do expect the best out of everyone. Excellence. You know. And the excellence, actually, I always said that to my children, that this did not come with the Model C. This came from the school.
Welcome back to the South African of the Year Daily Show. With our nominee in the South African of the Year category, IEC Chairperson, Mr. Glen Mashinini. Now, we took some time out to spend some time with people that he knows on a personal level. They are Professor Mqunu, Hleze Piratebe, and Jerry Poe, and this is what they had to say about the man.
I know him, I think 20 years ago, 96, 97. We met in Durban, was still living in Durban. I think he had moved over from Australia to become the director of community theatre outreach project, I think at the Playhouse in Durban. So prior to meeting me, I think he had met my brothers who were cultural activists, at the Pet Center. So I had heard of him from them, that they've met this young chap who used to live in Soweto, but he's an ex-Australian, sounding quite exotic at the time, so, and that he's really a wonderful chap. They're befriending him. But I think for him and I, we started to really meet after I had recruited him through this network, to join me as my deputy at the IEC, deputy CEO, responsible for administration, institutional matters, HR, finance, all the systems. As a nominee, I would think that Glen is well deserving, because if South Africans will remember, leading up to the elections in August, on August 3, there was a lot of anxiety, whether the elections will happen, whether they'll be free and fair. I can say to Glen that, the words that Madiba uttered, that it's a long road, to freedom. If it's a long road, it means it's a relay. I took it for as long as I could, handed over to other people who have handed over to you. So make sure that when it's your time to leave, you hand over a much more improved institution. Thanks for the August 3 elections, and we look forward to you giving us even more and more wonderful electoral experiences.
Glen Mashinini was my neighbor at Mufulo North. We were staying together, same street. We were staying at front, opposite at home. Then they went for quite a long time to Australia. When he came back, he came to us and told us that he's back to South Africa. Then he gave us his contact number. so that if we need something to help as a community at home, we must contact him. And then if we've got funerals at Mfulo North, I used to phone him, tell him that somebody passed on, then we'll come and attend that funeral, and we'll come 2 days before, donate whatever, grocery or money, anything that the family needs, and then he will come to attend the funeral. And I've asked him to donate 30 blankets for us. He donated those 30 blankets, and we donated it to some disabled kids and some old age people here at church. Brother Glen, he's a brother, he's so caring, not for his family only, for us as friends, family friends, members here at the church, community as a whole, especially at our residence at Mfulo North. Kuluse Mvumeni Mashinini, I wish you a good luck, my brother. May God be with you. Amen.
We used to work here at the Playhouse together. He was a head of development section here at the Playhouse. So we know each other from the arts world. It makes me feel very proud of him, because I know that whatever he touches, he becomes very passionate about. So I'm proud that he's been recognized for that. When I was getting married, I was with him in the car, and he was the one that was actually cooling me down, not to be nervous. But also, when we debate a lot about the art situation in this country, so sometimes we got heated debates, but profitable ones.
Mr. Mashinini, that segment has left you quite emotional. I don't know if our cameras can see it, but your eyes literally welled up, when Uhlezepi was speaking. What is going through your mind?
It's the journey. It's the journey that one has traversed since 1993, coming back into the country, and just the reflections of those escapades professionally and otherwise, and to see some of the friends summarizing them the way they do, they just bring all the memories that are quite touching, because some of this meant really a commitment to one's country,
Yes.
The passion, and even the sacrifice, and in doing all what they're talking about. But it's things that if given a chance, I'll do them again. So that's me, and it's part of my journey in life. Yes.
It reminds me of a gospel song, I think, but it's talking about the journey of, Jesus to the cross, saying, would you do it again? Do it again. And you certainly would do it again. Speaking of friends, Mr. Mashinini, you made reference to Ubongindaba earlier on in the show, speaking about what your passion for the arts, or where your passion for the arts rather came from. And we as SATY just thought that we would bring a little something special to your interview today. So we've invited Usis Bongindaba as as a surprise for you to come and say hello.
How can you guys do this to me? Bongi.
Sis Bongi, welcome to the South African of the Year Daily Show. Thank you so much for making the time to join us.
How can you do this?
This is the new Umkomazi. We tricked you. We got you.
Is with a friend like this.
Sis Bongi, talk to me about your relationship with Glen.
Glen is my brother that I just found at the Playhouse, and he just took me in as his little sister. This guy took me to school. My varsity, my diploma, it's this guy. I wouldn't be here if he didn't pressure me, always calling me. If I get 75% in my results, and he would say, why is it not 85%? He always demanded excellence from me. So all the time, even now in my life, I just, excellence all the time. because of him.
Now that you're here, I have to put you in the hot seat with Glen. So I hope that your knowledge together of South Africa is on par. I'm hoping to get a 5 out of 5. I mean, between a screenwriter and the chairperson of the IEC, if your general knowledge here is like below 3 out of 5, I'm going to put in a complaint, a review, something needs to happen.
You're going to ask me questions in front of him. If I fail, he's going to call me afterwards.
No, you see, the difference with this one, Sisbongi, is that it's a team thing. So between the two of you, you must get the right answer. So you can't blame it on you. If he gets it wrong too, it's as much his fault as it is yours. It's called the South African of the Year Award. So we want to test your general knowledge on this country. 5 quick fire questions, and then we see how you do. Are you ready?
Sure.
But you should at the same time. All right, question number 1. What is the name of the elegant touring train that runs between Pretoria and Cape Town?
The Blue Train.
That is correct. You see, guys, you're doing so well so far. Off to a great start. Question number 2. Which South African fast food chain has outlets in the United States?
Nando's.
Yes. What were you going to say, Mr. Mashinini? You are going to get it wrong. She saved you. Spirit of excellence there. 2 out of 2. Next question. Which leader of the South African Communist Party was assassinated by Janusz Valush on the 10th of April, 1993? Of course, that is 3 out of 3. And now my pages don't 1 to 10. I mean, ganjani, kengo. It must be you guys doing some voodoo from that side of the room. Who became the reigning king of the Zulus in 1968, although his coronation only took place in 1971?
King Zwelithini.
I was about to say, who? That is 4 out of 4. And the last question, which South African cricketer was famously photographed in mid-air sailing towards the stumps, ball in hand, to run out Inzamam Al-Haq of Pakistan on 8 March 1992? Ayeye right now. It's such a famous photo. I can't even explain it more than the way I've explained
I was down under.
Yeah, I was in school. I wasn't watching cricket at that time.
You guys are not even going to take a guess. Okay, let me try and give you a clue. Is it Lance Klusener or John T. Rhodes?
Lance Klusener.
I feel like you're looking at me like, are those even cricketers? The answer was John T. Rhodes. But 4 out of 5, 80%.
Yes.
You see, why isn't it 90 this morning?
He's going to call me and ask me that.
Congratulations. It's been such a pleasure spending time with you. But Mr. Mashinini, before we say goodbye to you, you are nominated in the category of South African of the Year, along with other phenomenal South Africans, the likes of Black Coffee, Wade van Niekerk, Brian Molefe, Terry Peto, Caster Semenya. If you don't win the award, who would you give it to?
Any one of them. Any one of them, because I think each one of them in their distinguished area, they represent the excellence that we need more of in our country. Yes. So it's not really about the winning, it's the recognition of the work that has been a journey of one's life, and with the team of people that one has worked with. A sports person, work with their coach and all those things. In the electoral work, one worked with a team of people. In the arts, I work with. So this is really just part of a process of acknowledgement of a journey, more than whether you win or lose. Sitting here is winning.
Oh, I love that answer. Final question for both of you, a parting shot per se. Your message to everyday South Africans who are sitting out there inspired by both your journeys. When Sisbong, yours have been, you found a wing and literally crawled under it, and you never looked back and you held on to those lessons of excellence. So just a parting shot or your words of wisdom to young South Africans in particular as well, who are watching this evening saying, wow, this is what makes me proud to be a South African.
What makes me proud is that there's people like Glen, and I encourage other people to make sure that they mentor the young people. And also for young people, you must know that you matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you come from. I come from a small town, and the achievements that I have done, I've met people like him who have helped me through the way. You must know that you matter and work hard. It does not kill anyone to work hard.
And you, Glen?
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Amen.
And our country is something that we must all be proud of. And its future is really in our hands, not only just by voting, but by us now rolling up the sleeves and taking it to the next heights. And it's doable.
What an interview. Thank you so much for your time. Congratulations again on your nomination. I'm hopefully going to be seeing both of you on the 25th of November, and you'll be looking glitz and glam, you know? And to you this evening, thank you so much for watching. I certainly learned so many things, and I hope that you have too. Something, and if not, watch the repeat, and you'll learn something new then, with a notebook by your side. That's all we've got for this evening. Thank you so much for watching.